hey, like you're in a relationship, you want to spice things up. I think that's good because then we can also tell ourselves it's not because it's, Valentine's Day that we need to make the exception, but it's a reminder to do it throughout the year. And having several
Hmm.
reminders of these key dates, I think is good. It's just taking the pressure off,
Yeah.
because similarly to Christmas, there's this huge pressure to be with loved ones and do things and do that, and it's not healthy. But Valentine's Day has the kind of I don't know if it does it for men, but for women you get Galentine's Day
Hmm.
where you
Yeah.
celebrate with friends and things like that. And I
Yeah.
think it's a nice reminder to just because it's tough because when you're in your early 20s, all you do is spend time with your friends and muck around and no responsibilities. But then you
Yeah.
have to, you're in a relationship or you're thinking more seriously about your career and things like that. And if you're not having kids, maybe you've got friends who are having kids, and so you kind of go on separate paths. Whereas, these dates kind of remind you to get back together.
Yeah. And I think it's a great opportunity to celebrate love, no matter what type of love it is. It doesn't have to only be romantic love. If you
Yeah,
don't have that in your life right now, that's fine. Turn to the love that you do have, whether it's with yourself or with your family or with your friends or whatever it is. Just find ways to celebrate
yeah,
your way. And I think that's what makes it special. Like Zev and I were talking about this last night about it has nothing to do with Valentine's Day, but I hope I'll be able to connect it properly. But we're talking about how every person likes to you're looking when you care too much about what people think or popularity or friends or whatever, then it impacts how you feel about yourself and what you're doing, and you're constantly doubting yourself. But when you're just living your own life and
yeah,
just doing your thing and you don't care, people outside can think that you're weird and that you're whatever. They can think whatever they want about you, but you don't care because you love your life and you're enjoying it and you're doing you. So as
yeah,
long as you just surround yourself with the right people and do things that you actually genuinely enjoy and want to do, not because everyone else around you is doing it or not because someone's looking at what you're doing or someone's criticizing it. It's just like, do
yeah,
no matter what it is. So if you want to celebrate Valentine's a certain way, if you don't want to celebrate it, let people around you think you're weird. Let them think you're a crazy person. That's usually a sign that they're bored in their own freaking life.
yeah.
So
I mean, honest, I see what you did there. I think our listeners will see as well.
hopefully,
And
my
I
brain
agree, it's
works in
just
mysterious ways.
I
Yeah.
once my brother was basically my brother ended his relationship because he'd met somebody else and like everybody kind of knew
Mm.
and got it. And then my brother and so sister-in-law went to travel for 2 years in Australia and then came back. Like he basically broke up with his like I think they were together for 5 years or something. Yeah. And then they broke up and a couple of months later he went traveling with his my sister-in-law. They've been together for 8 years now. But anyway, all this to say, 2 years after they came back, no, 2 years after they broke up, and so when they come back from Australia, people were talking about them, and he was taking it really personally. And I
Hmm.
said, "You guys, I love you guys, but you two are nobodies. Like
Hmm.
you're nobodies. You don't
Yeah.
work with these people. You only play badminton with these people, and all they've got to do is talk about what you guys did 2 years ago. How sad is their life? Are their lives for them to
Yeah.
be interested in what you guys are doing? Like, and so I think that ties in as well. It's just if it were Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie or whatever, I'm only thinking about Brad Pitt because of the whole. I don't know if you heard about the French woman who got ripped off. Okay, never mind. It's
I
unimportant.
know that they have the whole winery kind of dispute, but I don't know if it's like
No, no, no. A woman got catfished by a guy in Africa and got
oh, and
850.
she thought
Yeah,
that he was Brad Pitt. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I saw something
Anyway,
about
that's
it. I
why he's
didn't
on my
read
mind.
it, but
Anyway,
Yeah.
if it were that, I'd understand why people are talking about it, but it's not. It's
Hmm.
just two nobodies in a small village. So anyway, all this to
Yeah.
say, if people are talking about you, one, their lives are boring, and two, it means you are very interesting. So,
Yeah.
win-win.
Exactly.
And we were saying about Christmas, like, take the pressure off. You don't have to be the best version of yourself because Christmas and the holidays all around the world, like they are,
Hmm.
it's an intense time. I'd say the opposite for Valentine's Day. I say take this time to kind of test yourself and then kind of evolve because it's only a couple of days because Christmas and all these other holidays like they go on for a long time.
Yeah. It's a
So
season. It's
it's a
literally like the whole
season. Yeah,
season. Yeah.
exactly. Whereas Valentine's Day it's just, maybe like 2 days, 13th and
Yeah.
14th or 15th, 14th and 15th. Okay, then those days if you're not feeling good about it, challenge yourself. Say, okay, I'm gonna go see a film by myself. I'm gonna give myself a facial. I'm gonna play video games all night. I'm just gonna do something
Yeah.
for myself. And it's okay to feel shitty, and I'm gonna do something to not feel shitty. And like a bit
Yeah.
of a challenge.
That's a good idea. Like to do something that you enjoy. If you can
Yeah.
take the day off, go out to the zoo, to the museum, walk around the city center, wherever it is, go to a neighboring town, village, city, whatever. And just like do like I feel like it's a good excuse to do something out of the ordinary that you don't, normally do. Break that routine, get out of your comfort zone and just, a lot of times, and this is a thing that I talk about a lot, like in my content about being single and enjoying your singlehood, is that we do all these things with the people around us, with the people that we love. We never do it with ourselves because it's like weird to do these things alone, but it
Yeah.
isn't because, it's part of being who you are. Like, you have to have that kind of rapport with yourself that you do with other people to be able to, be spontaneous with yourself, to be able to just have fun alone and not need someone else's company to do things, not just to wait around for people to do things with you. So you don't have to wait around for a partner or for a friend who happens to also have time on Valentine's Day, you know? And
Yeah.
people either just focus on themselves and don't care about you, and people don't notice you as much as you think they do, or they overly care and then they're just really bored and
Yeah.
mental.
Boring.
So you just like don't care about them.
Yeah. I completely agree, and I would say next time you're out, whether it be Valentine's Day or not, just be like look around if you see people doing things on their own,
Yeah,
and you'll see that there are a lot of people, and then just take a note of just like, am I judging these people, or am I not even taking notice of them? Am I
yeah.
admiring them, judging them, or just not taking notice? And
A
there's a
good,
good chance that you're not
exercise.
taking notice. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah. And I think also what you think of them is a reflection of how you would feel towards yourself or how you
yeah.
feel about being with your alone somewhere. Like I remember I used to look, I used to go out and look at people sitting alone and eating or whatever, or just walking around alone. And it sounds bad, but I would think it's pathetic and sad. And oh my God, I feel so bad for them. But like having done it myself since then and having worked on myself and felt more comfortable in my own skin and company since I had those thoughts, I suddenly see it in a completely different light. I see it as something so empowered and so incredible to be able to do that means that person is super
Yeah.
confident. They're strong. Excuse me, and they just don't care about any. They don't, if you've read the book The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F, that's exactly it. We give too
It's a
many
great
F's.
book.
I keep like telling people just stop caring so much about what other people would say, and it's daunting at first, and it's like may feel weird, but you
I
get
think
used to
it's
it, and it's empowering.
yeah.
I can't explain how empowering it is to be somewhere and just like I'm owning myself.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, I think what I would add an asterisk so that like it's okay to care about what friends and family think
Yeah,
to an extent.
yeah.
To an extent. Um, but I what randomest thing out. Gosh. But I would add something came up for you said about being a singles coach and me being a dating coach. I would say that if you are dating someone short term or long term and they are specifically saying that they don't want to do Valentine's Day or like they are against it or things like that and actively choosing to not do something, it's okay to do nothing just because, talk about it. What do you think about Valentine's Day? I don't care. Let's not do anything. Okay, that's one thing. But if this person is actively against it and saying, no, we're not going to see each other, like, well, I'm anti it, and I think that's a bit of a red flag.
Yeah.
I'm
Being
just like,
anti anything is like,
yeah,
I just believe in being open-minded. It's okay not to want or like something, but just you don't have to be extreme
yeah,
about every single thing in your life. It's
yeah.
just like, yeah, too heavy.
Especially when it comes to, I agree, don't have to, I mean, don't be extreme. Have an opinion, but don't be extreme. But it's if you're dating someone and this person is saying, I specifically don't want to celebrate the love holiday,
Yeah,
then I wouldn't, it's okay to not, really care and not do anything, but go out of your way to not do something just because I think that's a bit toxic and I wouldn't,
yeah,
I'd reassess that relationship.
yeah. If anyone came out with anything like extreme, I'm like, I will. It again, it like it depends on like the case and what it is. I would like maybe try to understand better what the because there might be something deeper there that a lot of times people say like I know with Zev, like there was a few things that he said, like there was like, no, I'm not gonna share food, no matter what it is. And I'm like, not, and like, wait, and then he changes his mind
Yeah,
because like we have this like instinctual response of like it's a bit defensive, but then when you slowly get used to the idea, then it's fine. But we have to like be able to make that
yeah,
distinction and like, but if someone comes out with like, it's like on the same scale of like if someone said, I don't want to celebrate birthdays, I don't believe it. So if we're going to be together, I won't ever celebrate your birthday and you don't have to celebrate mine. But like, and
yeah,
if it's not important to you, then maybe you don't care. But like if it's something that's important to you, then you may want to reconsider. But even if you don't care, I would proceed with caution and like, why is this person being so
yeah,
extreme? And if you're being extreme on one thing, it's bound to come up in something
yeah.
in another aspect. So
So tell us what you think about Valentine's Day. Have you got any
yes.
plans?
How are you
Um,
gonna celebrate? Who are you gonna celebrate with?
yeah, and maybe we're seeing, depending on how I feel, we can do a post Valentine's Day episode, see how it goes.
Yeah. Yes, sounds good.
Bye,
Okay. Bye,
everyone.
everyone.